Okay, so today's August 5th, and we are at the Teepee Lookout in Sula, and we're here with our new friend and lookout person. What is your name?
Ben Siemens.
Ben Siemens from Iowa,
From
and
Iowa.
he just took me through the program here, how he handles his job. And I asked him if he would be willing to share with others, and he said he would. He's been on the job for 8 years, did you say?
9 years.
9 years, and handled spotted 50 fires. So go ahead, Ben. Tell us.
All right.
Tell us how this thing works.
Yeah, so I guess fire lookout here in the Bitterroot National Forest, and this thing is kind of the main piece of equipment that the lookout has. I always think it's kind of funny, like how much technology moves along, but yet this is kind of the same thing they've been using for the last 100 years. I guess it's an Alidade or an Osborne firefinder is a technical term. And it's pretty much like a big stationary compass. If you see a fire out in the woods, you'd line up and aim, look through this little crack here, line it up with the horsehair on the other side, and pinpoint that right on the smoke. And then it'll give you a compass reading down here on the side that you can use to find the fire, or also relay over the radio so other people can kind of see what you're seeing on the map. So like that there would be 141, 42, 43, pretty close to 144, and you can break it down to the minutes. But the other cool thing is they build these maps so that the lookout is directly in the center of the map. So when you spin this around, it just kind of pivots, kind of like around the North Star, I guess. But so then you know that the fire is in the line once you have it lined up there. And so most lookouts probably use this map, I think, to break down exactly where the fire is. But I like this one up here. The scale is twice as big. So I take the number off the side there, and I will run this out at the same number. So it'd be like if I had 140 on there, I'd run it up at 140 here, and then I know that the fire is in this line. And I like this map a lot better because it kind of breaks down. The drainages are a lot easier to see, and I've spent, hundreds of hours up here trying to memorize all these drainages. So hopefully as soon as I see a smoke, I can kind of narrow down like what drainage it's in. I've also, I don't know if anybody else has done this, but I've marked, probably a couple hundred pin pricks around here of like easy to identify high spots, so that I think I can quickly reference them within 5 minutes in the future instead of learning something at the exact time that you need to. So then you try to break it down. Dispatch wants it to the nearest like 16th of a section. So if it were like right here, it would be like the northwest corner of the northwest quarter of section 35 in township. That'd be just barely township 2 north, and then range 17 west. And then you'd radio that into dispatch. The other cool thing about this map, doesn't work out too much here because I'm kind of on my own in this little corner of the forest, but I've got my 4 neighboring lookouts here. If a smoke is higher up on the ridge line along the Continental Divide, or putting up enough smoke that they can see it as well, the one thing you can do is if 2 lookouts can see a fire and they both call on their azimuth, it pinpoints it and kind of takes
let me see what you got going there. You just, okay. So
yeah, or I can show you this one. I had this one right here my second year. I think it was the second fire I ever had, and I had this azimuth on at Sula Peak, called me with that azimuth, and then actually Deer Mountain from up here too could see that same fire, and we all crossed in the same spot. So it really takes the guessing game out of it. And it was just kind of my second year up there, and I know it might seem ridiculous, but like there's so many different ridges and flat spots out here that I swear you can look at something for hours and not figure out exactly what it is. And that was kind of a tough spot for me. So it was nice that
you had backup.
Yeah, backup, and that's kind of, I guess, triangulating a fire is kind of the best part, and that's why they try to keep. We got 9 lookouts on the Bitterroot National Forest. I can show you this map here. I actually just built this last week because I didn't have enough maps up here already. So this is kind of the forest.
You built it?
Yeah. Yep. Built it. It wasn't whatever. Pretty easy, but this is the whole forest view, and these are all the staffed lookouts on forest. Here's Teepee Point here, and that's Hamilton there with Willow Mountain. I don't know if you've been up there outside of Hamilton. No. And so if there's something a little further away on the forest, we had one out by Little Tin Cup Lake outside of Darby, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. Then I remember I could see directly west of me, and these 2 lookouts down here can see it. And I can't remember if I think they might have been either off that day or like the closer lookout sometimes is blocked by another higher ridge and couldn't see it. So we had like 4 of us further away cross up there by Tin Cup Lake, and so I can kind of follow along on the whole forest.
Very cool.
That way.
And you're up here, you said, for sometimes how many days at a time?
I did a 21-day stretch up here once. Usually, I don't know, if things are calm, I guess it's a 5-day-a-week job, just like people down below. It doesn't usually work out like that.
24 hours a day, though.
Well, it's again like a normal job. It's 9:30 to 6, guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
We've been starting a little earlier this last week and staying on later because of the fire down in Hamilton.
Gotcha.
And just how warm and dry it is. There's a chance something could start a little later or a little earlier, so they like us on. But if there is a storm in the middle of the night, which happens enough times, then you're up on the clock. I remember I've had a few nights up here where you're happy to get to bed at like 10 o'clock because there's been a lot of there's been some lightning during the day, and then you lay down for an hour, and then sure enough you can see a flash, pop through your eyelids at like, midnight or something like that. So you got to wake up, go on the clock for another hour, fall back asleep, and then another storm passes through. Next thing you know, you're almost up all night tracking.
I bet. I don't see a time clock in here, so.
I got one there. I should probably do without it.
A clock, yeah.
Is that what you mean, clock?
Well, you don't punch a time clock.
Punch in, no.
And where's your refrigerator?
Propane stove in the basement, propane fridge.
Okay.
And I got one little propane light. Otherwise, I got the oil lamps that I use up there pretty frequently.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe I guess the lightning chair is kind of a cool thing. A lot of people get a kick out of that. It's got the glass insulated bottoms on the chair. I guess
okay.
The official thing you're supposed to do during a lightning storm is sit on that chair, keep your feet off the ground, and not set it right here. You got the 3 big metal objects in the room here, and some lookouts have talked before. I think it's called St. Elmo's Fire. I think if the lookout gets struck, you can get like a circulating blue light of energy between like the grounded metal objects. So I usually stay in the back of the room. That's why it's nice the map hangs back there. And they tell me it's well enough grounded that I shouldn't have to worry about that, but
yeah, I don't know that you'd want to take that chance.
No, there's a couple times you're sitting up here wondering what you're doing sitting on the top of a mountain during a lightning storm.
All by yourself.
Yeah, all by myself. Especially my first couple of years up here, I was questioning that, but.
Well, I gotta hand it to you. It's a different lifestyle that you've signed up for, and you said you like to read a lot.
Yeah, for a guy from the flatlands in Iowa, I didn't really know lookouts existed until 10 years ago. Read about them in old Jack Kerouac books, I guess, and figured they were all shut down. And was kind of excited to find out there's still 500 left, and how valuable they can be. You know, we use a lot of air detection on forest yet, but I think the plane's only been up one or two times in the last 2 weeks, just because we have the lookouts around. We can keep the plane down, or whatever, and save money
a lot of taxpayer dollars that way.
Yeah, that's.
And you said you've utilized smoke jumpers on several occasions.
Right. Yep. Yeah, a few different times. Just the quickest way to get folks into a fire. Sometimes I'd say probably 75% of them here. You can get them up there, on a road, within, you'd like to think an hour, but sometimes it's really just more like an hour and a half when they got to drive down from Sula, drive down a Forest Service road for 10 miles and then hike like a mile or two into the woods. It takes a while. And sometimes if you get something further out in the wilderness area, it's just not possible to hike people in there anytime soon. So it's either flying in with a helicopter or smoke jumpers. And so we've done smoke jumpers a few times and been really handy. Those guys are pretty intense folks.
Yeah, no kidding. Cool.
But yeah.
Well, we thank you for your service and thank you for the education. There's lots of people that have no clue about what it is you do and the tools you use and how valuable your service is to all of our safety in our forest. So thank you, Ben.
Sure.